How do you link the relation between the CIO, the CMO, the transition of budgets going outside of IT into other parts of the business, and the drive for innovative businesses to develop this different type of transparent culture?
Actually, it's starting with the notion of a shift to achieving business outcomes. You take a look like a company like Disney, right? They're not selling you a ticket to an amusement park. They're not selling you a ticket to, or buying a film or buying, they're actually selling you a whole lifestyle. And what I mean by this is like starting as a kid. I mean, you get Mickey wear, then you buy a movie. You might have bought it on a VHS tape if you're old enough. You bought it again in DVD. Now you bought it again in Blu-ray, and then you're dumb enough to buy it again on Netflix. Right? I hit you up 4 times. Then you get a little bit older and you decide to go on a vacation. You bring people on board. Then you get on a cruise. And even when you die, right? They've got Disney retirement villages, right? And so the point is, they're not in the business. They're selling you a lifestyle and an outcome. They're not selling a product. They're not selling a service. They're selling you an experience, and actually they're selling you peace of mind. You're trying to move the needle on an outcome. And once you realize that, it's back to the classic Coveyism, begin with the end in mind. Right. And when you take that and say, how do I want to move the needle, there's all these new tools, all these new jargons, all this new technology. That's there to keep things fresh. But the same thing is, I got to move the needle. I've got to improve my customer sat scores. I got to drive revenue. I've got to cut costs, right? I've got to differentiate in the marketplace. I've got to figure out, how to get there faster than someone else. That doesn't change. The cloud is actually driving a pace of innovation. People aren't spending $10 million up front on a big on-premises software contract. They're buying in increments, right? And so what that's doing is actually shifting the business. And the question is, where do you compete and how do you compete? Some companies like Oracle are high volume. They try to go high volume, high value. Companies like IBM are high volume, high margin. And some companies are just low margin, high volume, right? Like Dell, right? They're going for low margin, high volume business. And so each of these business models are converging, and people are saying, what do we do? So product companies suddenly became services companies, right? Because they've got a service and support, and that's where the margins are. Service and support companies are starting to realize that's not where the margins are. What they need to do is broker information. And information-based companies are now selling outcomes and experiences. And that transition is happening in software.